Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Jace Beleren Must Die. If I am not mistaken, this is episode number 13. I'm joined, as always, by my lovely cast, who I'm sure have been up to all kinds of exciting stuff. Katie, you are in a new location. Look at you with your clouds in the background.
It's literally just like 6 feet, but boy, does that 6 feet really mean something.
You got flowers now. You got some D&D books in the background there.
Yep.
It's looking good.
Fake. They're all fake. These are all just.
I have to believe you're talking about the books too. Yeah, it's just a facade.
Yeah, no, they're just inflated. They're inflatable.
Picked them up at IKEA.
Yeah.
In the smart section.
I'm a gamer girl. Sorry, I'm not a gamer. I'm a gamer girl.
Right. Yes.
It's a cinder block painted to look like books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What if all the books are just like gamer girl versions of the actual book?
If you open up this Volo's Guide to the Monster right here, it's actually just 16 issues of Cosmo.
Right. All of the stats inside for like gamer girl Dungeons and Dragons. I'm gonna put this in quotes so I'm not a misogynist.
Is that how it works? All you have to do is just
That's all it
okay.
takes. Don't let them know because they'll catch on. They'll start
Charisma,
doing
and then hotness, sexiness, sassiness, and empowerment.
Well, my empowerment stat is a -2, so
It's good. It makes you less threatening to men, so it's fine.
so I don't get harassed on the train today. Nailed it.
I mean, if
boy.
you're anything like Red Sonja, you want people to see you in chainmail bras because it confuses them. I don't.
Listen,
it doesn't
Is
make
that the
Tact.
pitch?
Yeah,
that the pitch for that?
yeah.
Wow.
That's the genuine reason, is that it like throws men off their guard. And I was
To be fair, this material is also from the same time where if you read these old Conan books, the language is somewhat different. Yeah. Like I know you know, but I remember reading my first Conan story and being very surprised where you'll be reading and it'll be like, "Get away from me, Conan ejaculated." And you're like, "Oh, that word meant something different."
Wow.
They're not too different. Okay, good.
There's like a whole thing with Bailet, who is the queen of pirates, and everybody's like, well, Valeria is not as empowered in the movies because she's really just a redraw of Bailet from like the queen of blah blah. And I'm like, no, she's actually Valeria from Red Nails, but that's fine. You know, Valeria from Red Nails is really great. But Bailet is like, she's described as like an alabaster goddess, and she's on a ship of only African crewmates.
Oh dear. Or whatever the Howard stand-in is,
Yeah. So I think there's no Nubia. I think it's Shemite. I don't remember. But I do remember a very interesting passage where it's talking about how she fights on the deck naked.
Okay.
I'm interested.
But why?
Tell me more.
Well, she fights on the deck naked, not only to like throw her enemies off guard, but also to like inspire her crewmen, who she describes as like
We
savages.
must fight.
So
What do we got here?
What is the word inspired? Like, is that translated correctly from the artist intent, or is it like inspired and like they're like bloodlusted in a way?
What it means
and
is that they all get an
somehow-
extra d20 that they can roll in their attack rolls, and they can choose the best result because of the boob aura of their captain.
If
But
you get
it's
a
like
natural
it's
one,
weird
you come in
because
your
she's
pants,
like
right?
she's alabaster skinned, like they describe her as like very pale. And then like all of her crew members are like black as night and just as black hearted, like blah 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 type thing. And I'm just like, and there's like they land on an island. I'm sorry. Spoiler for a book that was written in the 1930s. They land on an island and like the entirety of the crew is slaughtered. And then she's like crucified on the ship. So
It's good stuff.
1930s.
Man,
That's Bailet, supposedly the love of Conan's life. Conan, literally after a battle, they have sex like on the deck of the ship,
of course.
To
in like
inspire.
surrounded by blood and entrails while her crew watches.
Yeah,
Well,
obviously
Different
celebratory
time.
orgy.
The 1930s. That's
different
it.
times.
Different times.
I had a Conan themed wedding, so
Excellent. So you got married and you and your spouse came together like two snakes over a black sun.
Yes. That was on all our invitations. It was really great.
Congratulations, you may now punch the camel.
I'm sorry about our I'm sorry, Lisa. I'm sorry about her.
Yeah. Yeah. Once again, and I said this is becoming a recurring theme. I said this on Monday. I'll say it again. Welcome to twitch.tv/D&D, where we can say things you're not allowed to type in chat.
Yeah.
Sorry, Hasbro.
We're over here and you're over there, and it's fine. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So how's your new office, Katie? Is it great?
Yeah.
Well, there's not a bed in it anymore, so that's just wild.
That's
you know, I didn't have to panic about. My secret is that every episode we've done before this, I've had to panic about making my bed every time before we'd recorded, in case that I moved my chair and my bed was in frame. But now I'm free.
So you have your own office now? That's your office?
Yeet.
That's awesome. I'm so jealous.
I know.
I'm so jealous.
Hell yeah.
Guys, I'm literally in a doorway right now.
I see that.
Like my front door is right here, and this is my living room. So yeah.
Yeah. Well,
congratulations. Chicago living.
Congratulations on the upgrade, Katie. I'm glad you don't have to feel anxious about having your bed in the shot anymore, and I'm also glad that you have all this room to feel anxious about some other stuff. So
yeah. Because I'll find something.
Yeah. Carlos, I know you have a couple of things I wanted to ask you about. Tell me about the Spotlight thing, Carlos, because I see it floating around.
Yeah.
Tell me about
Spotlight.
It, please.
Yeah, Spotlight is a program that I've been working on for a while. So basically, I'm an indie creator, like I've had my own shows. I put it on Twitch. I had my own podcast, highly edited. And, I just, I've had like a lot of really good opportunities in my life, like that my work has brought me in my job, my work has brought me this job that I have. And earlier this year, I was like, man, I'm so lucky. I wish more people can experience something like this. And I started working with Roll20 with this program, the Spotlight program, where we can shine a light on indie creators, like creators that maybe don't get the views or the popularity or might not have the ecosystem. You could be a very specific, I got a submission the other day from an illustrator that does speed drawings on YouTube of building while building the character. So while this person is drawing, they're building this NPC or this PC and developing their entire backstory and stuff like that. So just really creative people out there that might not get the attention. So yeah, if you have an idea, if you're an indie creator, if you're making something in the tabletop realm somewhere, community, and go to roll20.net /spotlight and fill out our survey that we have on there. If you have any ideas on how we can work together, that'd be great.
Cool. I've got this scrappy little role-playing game called Dungeon World. I'm trying to get trying to get it out there. I think
you know what, Adam, to be honest, I'm really busy right now, so maybe we'll take a look at
Damn it. Shut down. All right, fine, cool. People with better ideas than me, I guess.
Dungeon World seems a little derivative.
Seems like kind of I think maybe we have enough of those. Yeah, fine. I guess I'll go with my second plan. I'm going to start a burger restaurant called Mcadallo's. It's going to be great. Everybody's going to love it. Yeah, that's really cool. I think you're right. There's all this stuff, and I follow a ton of people on Twitter who are just like, look at me, I'm amazing. Nobody knows about it. I don't have a platform, but I'm a sorcerer. I'm making music or art or games, and it's yeah, it'd be really cool to see.
Yeah, and it's I went through. So I literally was up to 2 a.m. last night, just going through these submissions. And this one guy is making awesome streams. He does great overlays, integrates animation into it. He has great sound. He's obviously thought of the production value of everything. But maybe his team isn't into it as much as he is because like he's obviously done all the work. So I would love to connect him to like another team that like is trying to do similar things that like they can both help each other out. Just like things like that. Like we have resources, we can definitely help each other out. And the community.
I think I've definitely seen streams like that too, because I'll lurk around in the various RPG categories while I'm doing other stuff. And yeah, every once in a while you'll see a stream or like a YouTube video of a group that's playing, and you're like, wow, this is like really good, and their views are really low because it's very, there's two different skill sets between making a good thing and getting people to look at your good thing. Yeah.
And I think there's, you know, we could talk about like different misconceptions and stuff, but I think there's a lot of people that marketing can be so invisible, has been so invisible to them. Like you grow up and you're like, oh, I grew up loving this band, but they never think like, oh yeah, you were specifically marketed to like that band, but they think they discovered it, right?
Yeah,
so when they think they have to be discovered, like someone's going to discover them. And like that's not the way it works.
I don't know, Carlos. I'm immune to advertising. It doesn't affect me. I'm too smart for that. So everything I've ever done or discovered was me. I did that. No one ever made me do that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Set into his SM7B and his
right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's all hard work and bootstraps over here. Yeah, it's really cool. It's cool seeing that, and it's a community thing too, right? Where like building an audience and like sharing cool stuff is about working with other people too. And like TK, I found out about you and all the good stuff that you do through just doing this show. Where I was like, Carlos was like, here, we're gonna work with these awesome people, and I was like, yeah, Carlos, that sounds great. And then I did some research, and I was like, oh shit, they are cool. Carlos is right.
Yeah. He whispered into the microphone.
Listen, it's getting serious. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's true. It's like there's tons of people out there, and there's tons of people creating with different stories too, that you're just like, oh wow, this isn't like it's I don't think that there's anything that separates what I did with my shows is and like with anyone else. Like there's nothing that separates me other than the fact that like I was able to work a different muscle to get my show out there in front of people. And maybe some people don't have that, or maybe they're afraid to. I don't know what's blocking that. But there's definitely a lot of good work out there. There's a lot of people doing a lot of good work. And it'd be great just to hear from them.
Yeah, that's exciting. That's super cool.
Yeah, telling people that the door is open is so important, right? Like a lot of us think like, oh yeah, the door's open, just, you know, contact me or contact whatever, or, you know, hit me up, you know, but like just actually saying it means a lot.
Yeah, cool. So that's roll20.net/spotlight. Go check it out. Nice. Cool. I'm gonna go and have a look myself. I saw when you were working on it, but I haven't looked at the final project, so I'm gonna go take a look. That sounds cool. I want to thank Masood for being here. Every week, I think you're gonna be too famous for us, so thank you for continuing to lower yourself to hang out.
No, this is great because now every week when I'm not, it'll just be soul crushing. So.
Well, one day that your cam will come on, and it'll just be some guy in a suit, and he'll be like, so we're issuing a cease and desist for all past episodes. Masood is just too famous for you now.
And the guy refers to Masood as Mr. M. Mr. M wanted me to explain that.
I'm excited for that. That is definitely being taken creatively. Thank you.
Thank you, underling.
Yeah, it turns out, sorry everybody, all of the things we've done so far are now the copyright of the Masood Mega Corporation.
Mr. M Productions.
Mr. M Productions.
Calling us his team member. I don't know why he keeps calling us team members.
How is the quest for fame? How are you doing over there, Masood?
Quest goes. Life's pretty good. Last week I had the showcase for the Bob Curry Showcase. It's this thing in Chicago that's partnered with NBC for their breakout festival that they do every summer. It was really fun. Did a lot of good bits. Was reacted well.
That's good.
So that was nice. Yeah, I'm just kind of like working on now a couple other projects, which has been really dope. I mean, I'll put this out there, guys. Yesterday, I went to go audition for a talent agency, so we'll see.
Ooh, fun.
I mean, they were at the showcase, so that's the whole point of the showcase is that talent agencies come, they see it, and they see if they are anyone they're interested. They ask them to come audition. I don't know if I did a good audition. Honestly, I'm unsure about how well I did because I kind of blacked out for a moment. You ever get that thing?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You're like, and I'm like, did I do a good job? I don't know. I just remember parking, and now I'm back in my car. So
Yeah, we were just like, was I in the moment or unconscious?
right, one or the other. So yeah, I did mention, y'all. I mentioned Jace Beleren Must Die in the and one of them was a big D&D fan, so I was very impressed. So
nice,
y'all.
Lauren Michaels is a big D&D fan.
You know,
Whoa.
surprised. He's still really closeted about it. Like he grew up in a different time where like being a nerd didn't have the same support that it does now. You know, and he's a big shot.
it does.
Yeah.
You know, it does make sense now that awful Saturday Night Live sketch about role players.
Oh, God.
It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
that he's trying really hard to deflect. I get it now.
It's
Okay,
true.
all right.
I think
He actually
Ellen.
wrote that one himself. He's like, you know how you make a bad role playing sketch by really knowing role playing like so well.
I like Og Milder in chat asks, could they handle someone with triple digit followers and only 2 tweets?
I don't know. That number's at 116 right now, which is incredible to me.
I agree.
know.
There's no credibility in that number whatsoever. You're right.
Y'all, if I think it's actually I think it's one tweet, Ogmulder. I'll be honest. It's just showing off the fan art that some people did of Torgor the character. If you guys want to check it out, you can go to on Twitter and sort of take a gander at one of the great, putting a spotlight on some of the creative artists in the tabletop community right now.
It's true. 100% of your tweets are in support of someone else. So congrats.
Absolutely.
What a good
true.
guy. What an excellent guy, Mr. M.
A great guy.
I appreciate all his charity work, his social media charity work. That's what I like best about him. My favorite celebrity.
Mhm.
Yeah. And last but not least, TK, do you have anything that isn't related to 1930s pulp fiction genitals to say? Anything going on with you?
Certainly not, right?
Yeah, right?
Most
How dare you? How
How
dare you?
long can I hold this? No, it was a good time. I think I've said most of everything I need to say. I will say, related to Carlos saying that he didn't do anything different. So when I joined Twitter 3 years ago, and I think I started talking about Dungeons and Dragons 2 years ago, like during the summer. Serena and the Dungeon Rats Twitter were the first D&D community Twitters to follow me.
What?
Which is why I was so incredibly pumped when you guys announced for Rivals.
Oh.
And I told the rest of the Hell's Bells crew about you, and then we started like hardcore hyping Rivals after that.
Oh, that's incredible. See, I have all my success to you, right?
No, that is untrue.
Yeah,
I was just
100%.
saying that like you owe it to
Royalties,
Serena.
please.
If she's ever saddle, destroy you.
Yeah, but that's all it takes, right? Just like reaching out
Yeah.
and showing that you're a person, and then like you don't have to like push your thing 110% all the time. You can just like push your thing and like be a human being with people.
Yeah, I like super freaked out because I was like, a live play show? Followed me on Twitter?
Nowadays, it's like, oh,
I wrote
Now it's like,
fan
oh, a
fiction.
live play show
it's like,
followed you.
Speaking of, did the poll this morning,
Uh-huh.
and it is a 54% vote that a cop will kill us today on Jace Must Die.
See, this is the thing. Every day, and this happens to me way too often, every day there is an opportunity for me to have a snippet of Cop Killer by Body Count on my soundboard. But I keep forgetting to put it on there, and I just really need to install it and just jam that
It's
button.
nobody's fault but yours.
Jam that Body Count button.
Thanks for liking and subscribing. Jam that body count button.
Right. That's right. Thanks for listening and subscribing. Everybody go support Body Count, Ice-T's new metal rap group.
I agree, Jack. Bring Dirty D to Ravnica.
Oh God, Dirty D's are already in Ravnica.
The petition starts now.
So I've got a Ravnica one shot, a live thing that I'm doing at Magic Fest in Seattle in a couple of weeks, and I'm playing with the folks at Loading Ready Run. I'm really looking forward to it, but I don't think they are prepared for the Jace Beleren energy I'm going to be bringing to the table. Like, I think they are probably expecting like high fantasy adventure, and I'm just gonna be like, all right, so like basically everybody's gay, and you need to do some stuff and go, I guess.
You're gonna get distracted by how much you love your enemy constantly, so know that.
Adam, why do you keep telling us how cute everybody is? I'm like, listen, I'm just putting it out there. I'm putting those hooks out there for you.
You're gonna need to. You're gonna need to know.
It's got that Jace
I've been helped so much by in TK's notes. They've written hot or not hot, just so I can keep.
It's like, oh, I do hate them. That's right.
Yeah. You know what we should do, TK? We should at some point, maybe like episode 20 or something. We should pretty up the notes, and we can release them as a fan PDF, and we'll have your notes on one side and my notes on the other side of the page, so people can compare and contrast. They can be like, here's a list of useful information that TK compiled. Here's Adam's manic scrawling. Like, my notes don't make any sense at all.
Mine is just a ranking, just so everyone knows, mine is just a ranking every episode of how hot our enemies are. So
yeah, it's important.
Tune in. The Bachelor Ravnica.
Well, that's the skill. Interested. That's the skill of a truly skilled dungeon master, right? Is that instead of saying you see an NPC, they're super cute, you describe the NPC in a way that you know everyone is going to realize how cute they are.
It's true. I too just bring up pictures of like Chris Evans or Tom Hiddleston or Chris Hemsworth, specifically Chris Hemsworth if it's Tales from the Mists.
Yeah.
Hello.
A lot of chiseled jaws in Ravenloft. So one thing before we get started that I want to mention, because I think this news happened before it happened after the last time we played, but before we played now. Apparently, Magic is getting an animated series on Netflix. The people that are and I was gonna say, so we're waiting for our phone call. Russo.
Wait. Guys, you didn't get yours?
God damn it.
I knew Masood was too famous for us.
Yeah. So I don't know when that is happening, but apparently it's happening. The only thing anybody knows about it is that it's Magic themed. We don't even know if it's set in Ravnica. I think Chandra is probably going to be in it because they're using her for the promo art, which might mean that Jace is going to be in it, which means I really hope they pick the most like obnoxious voice actor for him. I hope that they go with our portrayal of Jace rather than the cool guy from the game. Yeah, but we'll see.
What, like it's Ryan Reynolds.
No, Bobcat Gold.
Bobcat Goldthwait. Yeah.
Yeah. He needs to play Jace Beleren.
I would love for them to do essentially like a Go version of Magic, the way like Teen Titans and then Teen Titans Go happening, like Magic the Gathering Go, like that.
Yeah.
Look at
Go. Yeah, that'd be pretty.
Oh yeah.
Without knowing anything about Magic, and just so everyone's clear, I know nothing. I really want Jace Beleren to be played by like Jeff Goldblum.
No, that is a.
Because I love
Jeff Goldblum is too good.
I need to be.
There is
Christopher Walken,
and then there is spells, and then.
Well, I think it'll be a good fit. It'll be a good fit for the Avengers dudes, because if it's about Gatewatch, which is like Jace Beleren's super friends, then it'll probably be pretty, like they'll just be like, all right, cool, we already know how to do superhero team stuff, which means chances are pretty good. I kind of hope that it's really about like some normal nobodies, and that the Planeswalkers are like big background characters
that they try to kill.
I think that it should be about some nobodies.
So we're waiting. Netflix, if you need some story ideas, just hit us up.
Let us know. I'm willing to play The Gathering if you guys want.
I'll turn some swamp sideways. I don't care. I'll do it.
I'll add to that mana pool. Let's do it.
I'll cosplay a hot
character in The
Medusa.
Gathering.
Yeah. So my lore question for Ravnica for today, because every time we do an episode, I have tabs open with things that I'm trying to figure out about how this strange universe works. If all the Gorgons in Ravnica are ladies, how do Gorgons reproduce?
Maybe it's like Godzilla.
Oh,
The internet.
what was that?
I couldn't find out on the internet. I went
What's that
looking.
movie like? Enemy Mind. You ever see that movie?
No.
Oh, you've never seen-
Species, I think is the maybe. I think
No,
I've seen
man.
Yes.
This one had like God, who was in it? I want to say like one of the Quaids and Louis Gossett Jr. or something.
Nice.
It's such a good movie. It's such a weird movie, but
I don't
yeah.
wanna see Species.
Anyways,
Well done.
no one's seen that movie.
No one's seen
Enemy-
it, yeah.
Oh yeah, someone saw it in the chat. Yeah, Enemy Mine is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
One person.
I would
saw it.
say they probably just lay an egg, and then that egg hatches to be a young version of themselves.
Right. So they're like
That
they
kills
clone,
their
basically
mom.
clone themselves. Well,
Yeah.
they have like clutches because they have sisters, right? They refer to each other like there are families, Gorgon
Right.
families.
Okay.
But I don't know if I've ever heard someone refer to a Gorgon as mom, except me talking about Vraska. But otherwise I don't know. I don't know like. And I looked, and the internet doesn't know, so I'm still.
No one-
That was for
Well,
you, Katie. Thank
This
you for.
reminds me of, like,
Thanks for getting that one. Appreciate that.
Yeah, then I think you're right. It
guys.
is up to us to figure that out and then
Right.
write it
That's
down on the
definitely-
internet.
Yeah.
Our
okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
All right, so
I definitely think it is Species, though.
I definitely am
Yeah.
following a similar concern, which is around the Gerudo from Legend of Zelda.
Mhm.
Specifically
Okay.
in Ocarina of Time, one man is born every 100 years, and that man is always, like, when they're born among the Gerudos, entitled to be king, which is misogynistic in itself. We'll look away from that. But for the other 99 years, is like
Does he live 100 years though?
that's the question. Like is this guy like is this basically, like, for lack of a better term, like, no, there's no way I can say this that won't cause a bad thing in chat to occur. But it's just like you know what I mean? Like I don't. Yes, Mara Machine.
but
It sounds like a really bad one to me. Honestly, not the best plot.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's just Ganon. It's just always Ganon.
It's always Ganon, just every 100 years. just-
Yeah. Like, don't they get
Oh,
reincarnated?
he's
at
like
some point?
he's
There
like
is some-
he's like the
yeah.
Dalai Lama. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Do vampires pee?
Right.
That's the question.
That's the real question. That's the real question.
That's
so
the real question.
So let's get started with our episode, but we're gonna start with a scene in which none of these characters are present. So when we come in from the opening credits, right, produced by Mr. M, we fade out on the opening credits of the show. The title fades in the background, and we start with a shot of just darkness, and there's the sound in the background of battle. We can hear a lightning strike. We can hear shouting. And they've applied that filter on it, that like high pass filter, so we can only hear it kind of as if through water. And as the visuals resolve, the audio becomes more clear, and we can see that we're in Ravnica, in the streets of Ravnica, but there is some kind of catastrophe going on. There are buildings that are burning. In the background, kind of shaky cam, up in the sky, we can see two figures. Both are flying, and they seem to be locked in combat. One of them is wearing red and blue, familiar-looking red and blue robes, and he has some kind of apparatus on his arm that attaches to a backpack, and he's hurling lightning bolts at this blue-cloaked figure that is wreathed in mist. And the two of them are crashing into each other in the sky, and at one point, they clash. There's a blast of light, and one of the nearby buildings is shattered by a lightning bolt, and rock tumbles down into the street, and we follow it down to a couple of figures. Now, some people are running by. People are obviously panicking and trying to flee this area. Most of them seem to be dressed like they are members of the Izzet League. So we see lots of engineers. We see lots of people who are dressed the same way that we've seen Winnegar clad before, and they're fleeing from something. There's an explosion in the background, and as we follow maybe one of these like fleeing people, the camera lingers on a pair of figures. One of them is laying on the ground, The other is kneeling next to her. And we recognize, albeit across the gulf of time, we recognize the face of the Rose. We see Vojka. But Vojka is not the way that we recognize her. She has tears streaking down her face. She is dressed like an Izzet engineer, and she is desperately trying to get this woman that is lying on the ground, to get up. Right? She's sobbing like, please, please, come on, we have to get out of here. And the woman on the ground, as we pan down and get a look at her, is definitely related to her. It's clear from the shot. It's clear from the way that their hair is styled and their facial features. They're related. They're probably like sisters. And the woman on the ground is very, very badly hurt. But hurt in a way that like it's like a PG-13 like movie. So it's not like she has a piece of shrapnel sticking out of her chest. She's just like the music is letting us know she's dying.
A large piece of rubble covers everything.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But like her face is still totally normal. She's not like missing any teeth or anything. She still looks cute, but she's dying. I think there's not enough time. There's panic and there's chaos. There's not enough time for an exchange between the two. But the woman on the ground, pinned under the rubble, reaches up with a bloody hand and touches Vojka's face and whispers something that we don't hear before her eyes roll back in her head and she lies down on the stone. The young Vojka turns and sneers up at the sky at these blurry superheroes fighting each other. And we can see that she does not have vampire teeth. She just has like a regular human face. And she looks up and she snarls at the sky and then gets up and she runs. But we don't see her run in the same direction as everyone else. She runs down an alley and into the dark. And as we pull back, we see in the background, we can see the Izzet Guildgate, and she's leaving all of that behind her. And in the distance, the way that she is headed, we can see just vaguely limned in the mists of Ravnica's sky, we can see the Orzhov bank. We can see Orzhova in the distance as she runs in that direction. And so we crossfade from that scene to the catacombs beneath the Rose's estate. We see the walls of skulls of honored servants. And as we follow down that hallway of skulls, we see the Rose, and we see you, her loyal servants who have just showed up at her house. And I think she starts with the obvious question: what the hell are you doing here?
There are several answers to that.
Mm-hmm.
You get glared at real hard.
I mean,
we should start with the important stuff first.
Rose has a lovely home. Just saying
Yes.
that. Yes.
Yeah, it's great. What's this do? Can I touch something? I just want to pick something up that looks like there could be something in it.
Yeah, I mean, like imagine you're in a fairly this is fairly typical Orzhov decor. There's skulls, just lots of skulls. So remember, we pass through a door depicting like a weeping woman, and then we're in this catacomb, and there are sarcophagi, and and so she's chosen to meet you down here in the like family crypt.
Power move.
Yeah, so anything that you are poking at is the remains of someone in a stone box.
Torgor also likes having remains on him, and I like show my Minotaur horn goblet that it's like, this was probably my uncle.
Yeah, we don't even know anymore.
No.
I call this drinking horn Uncle Buck.
Uncle.
So she wrote, obviously your dissembling is not sufficient to defer her anger. She's just like seething.
Okay, cool. So we'll start with the most important part, and we'll get to the slightly. You've been made. People figured out. Where's that piece of paper that you were handed?
Are these people you? Is this why you're in my home?
No. these people are
We
Ral
found out
Zarek.
that you were made.
So
Yeah.
Torgor, when you say these people are Ral Zarek, she like hard like snaps her view to you. Her little ringlets like jostle, and she snarls, and you get the full like vampire teeth effect. And she says, "What did you say?"
He clears his throat.
Torgor is very rarely like actually intimidated. At this moment, is like so frightened. Ral Zarek? Is it guy?
She nods slowly. I know who Ral Zarek is.
Good, because Torgor did not have the words to explain him.
Thank God.
Where's that piece of paper that you were handed?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's right here, and I'm gonna pull it out. Be like, I got this in a library, and I got a smooch, and I'm just gonna.
she snaps it out of your hand, and she looks at it, and you can see. Everybody make an insight check. Let's all just make insight checks together.
I get advantage because I'm also have a manicure right now, and so we're matching.
Yeah.
Insight
Okay.
check. I get a -1 to this, so
Okay.
strong
That's
11.
I get a +4. And I still got a 6. Thanks.
I got a
Thanks, everybody.
16. 16 with a -2. Feel real good.
Yeah, not bad.
I'm busy checking to see if my manicure is still together.
So Torgor, you are the only one that can see underneath the icy exterior that Rose is putting forward. So everyone else, you see the Rose. She's just like stone faced, just like reading. She has an intensity that overpowers any of the nuance of her emotions. But Torgor, you, for whatever reason, you are able to pick up that there is like fear there. Why? I mean, this is a great question. Why Torgor? Like, how is it that you're the one that picks that up?
Well, I also think because Torgor is in a place where part of the reason why Torgor ends up in Rakdos and not in the Boros Legion, even though his parents were, is because of their relation to their emotional spectrum. And I think in the Boros, there's only a certain level that you're allowed, and often it's aggression or like contentment. And so like things like fear or things like
Boros are allowed to fear. They're allowed to feel angry or justice. I think those are the two.
And and fear is then masked as anger because
You're right.
you can't process it. And so like in the same moment, just sees a very like an instance where he knows like the guard dropped down.
Yeah.
And at that time Torgor was like, we want to do our job and we need you to do our job. So if someone's coming after you, we just want you to know.
She ignores you. She hears you.
Yeah.
But she doesn't respond to you. So I guess she doesn't ignore you. She turns to Winnegar and she says, where did you get this? Where did this information come from?
Yeah. So I was I was trying to get some blueprints and I was pretending to be Ral. And it put me in an awkward situation where this information was meant for Ral. But he hasn't gotten any of it yet because, I intercepted it.
Where did it come from?
His significant other, maybe. I don't know what his feelings are, but this guy was really into him. If you were in the room, you would see. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know exactly how Ralph felt about him. It felt very secretive, so maybe he was embarrassed of him, or maybe it was some type of a side piece situation. I don't really know. I mean, that's a good point. Maybe we should look into that.
She looks down at the paper and then at you, and she says, this information is only available to members of the syndicate. I need a name, or at least a face. Tell me what you remember. And I feel like, Winnegar, maybe you need to make a wisdom saving throw. Is she like, gazes into your eyes.
That's wild.
13. Okay. All right. So she is definitely working some kind of vampire brain mojo on you, but she's not trying to do it to like hurt you. She is trying to like experience your memory with you. So it's like she like steps into your mind. Now I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna put you on the spot here, but I'm gonna get you to give us the Winnegar version of what you remember. So basically, she steps into your memory, and we get the fade in on that same scene from the library. Yeah. But she's there with you, and she's like basically like watching you go through this thing, but it's from your point of view. So it's maybe different than how it actually happened.
Being John Malkovich, like being John Malkovich style. Okay, yeah. So we see Winnegar walk in to that room, sneak into that room, and he looks down at his shoes, and his shoes are untied. Again, his shoes are always untied. It doesn't make sense. And he's tried different ways to tie them. It's like the bunny goes around the loop. He's going through. Hold it. He tried tucking. Velcro just wears off, and she's just like getting pissed off that she's hearing all this. And then he looks up and he hears a sound. He sees the guy plainly. He and is picking up all the cues, basically in a way that like almost like he's experiencing it from the outside. Like, oh, this is a good looking guy. I wonder if he'd ever kiss. Oh yeah, he totally wants to kiss me. This is gonna happen. Okay, just lean into it. And then it's just like, how long is too long? Did I say something? Is it weird that my eyes are open? Like his eyes are open the entire time. And then like his he's like actually like his disposition changes just like a little bit, and he's like relaxed, like, okay, everyone is like buying into this. And then he grabs the paper from the guy, the folder, and then immediately like wants to open it. So I guess it's like this anxious feeling. I don't know if Winnegar ever like took notes of like who this person was, or like, because it seemed like he was just like an ordinary, like he wasn't anyone famous or anyone powerful. So I don't think he really took note of him as much.
And so maybe that's the fade back, is you watching this person like walk away, and then we fade back, and the rose just says Tomic, and she like crumples up the piece of paper in her hand. Yeah.
Do you know Tomic?
She nods. And you can see that she's only kind of here now. Like the gears are going, right? She's like plotting something. She's making plans.
I know you're processing a lot of information. We have 2 more bullet points to sort of make our way through today.
Number 1, do you pee? No, I'm joking.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're like, excuse me, could you?
I noticed when I was coming down those stairs, there's a lot of open rooms.
Where's the bathroom?
No bathrooms.
That's how you can tell someone's a vampire. Pointy teeth, and then okay, yeah. So she's listening. She's capable of both plotting revenge or whatever and listening to you at the same time. So
I'm sure she is. Okay. The second point of information is that our drop points are no longer usable. Someone has picked up on them and is actively tracking them.
Someone. That's all you have?
No, I've seen them. They tried to kidnap me, but they didn't. So that's fun.
Well,
Bro, didn't they use mind magic on you?
Yeah, they did. They did.
And you have no idea who it is that's compromised our intelligence network. Just that they tried to kidnap you and you somehow miraculously escaped.
They tried to arrest me, which would lead me to believe that they're, lawful. But they also used mind magic on me, which leads me to believe that maybe they are pretending to be lawful.
So which is it? Are they a member of the Senate? Or are they a Dimir spy? Or you're not sure?
I would guess the second one, but I don't have confirmation.
And so you thought the best thing to do was use this information to come here, where I live, even though you were potentially being followed, and you could have led them right to me.
We were making sure that we weren't being followed. We were very careful.
You can,
like so sneaky.
Yeah, right.
We like passed without a trace. Honestly,
we literally use magic, honey. Look at our stealth rolls. They're right up there in the log.
You could scroll up.
Yeah, just scroll right up there and take a look. Like, I have receipts. All right. She. I'm not sure if she's gonna take this out on you or not. Let's have you make a. You're the one doing the talking, Road. Make a charisma save. Let's say DC. She's a smart woman. Let's say I'll make it easy on you. Make DC 13.
Oh, just exactly. Yeah.
All right. There is a moment where we see her perfectly manicured nails close in her hand. She digs her nails into her palm, thinking like, I could just kill all of them. That would be a good way to like close this loop and start over. She takes a deep breath. You see her like recenter herself, and then her hands like relax, and her body language goes from predator ready to strike to just merely extremely pissed off.
Yeah, I think that like Road at that time was also a little bit like trigger happy, like hand moving.
Yeah.
So, like there was like this will they, won't they for a very like sharp moment.
Well, so that's interesting. So Tak, Torgor, and Winnegar, you see that. You see Road like not entering, like making the fight or flight decision and deciding not to bail out. That was like, there's a moment where you're like, okay, cool, maybe I'm going to have to fight her. So everybody kind of sees that Road doesn't just like freak out and run away. I think that's interesting. And she just like, the Rose just closes her eyes and she, fine. I'm going to have work to do. I'm not going to be able to keep an eye on you the way I have been. I'm going to reestablish the network, and I'll find a way to get in touch with you. Normally, I would have someone wipe all memory of this from your mind, but that kind of behavior is exactly what we're fighting. It's one thing to be able to destroy the peacock, and another to use his tools. You deserve better than that, even if you are a bunch of failures.
Well, I mean,
we kind of concluded everything.
We all kind of like look at each other like.
Tak this whole time has been like, whenever you see your like sibling getting a spanking in the same room as you, and it's just like, do I leave or do I stay? Am I next? Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what we did. I know that I will die if I move or speak.
Yeah, right.
So it's like, even though you're all failures, it's just like my mom. Okay, cool.
There's a bit more.
So I think she actually, there is a sardonic grin there. She's like, really? Like,
it feels like we've handed over 3 failing report cards in a row.
Mom, I got an F in English. How dare you? Don't get angry. I also got an F in math. What? How could you? Hang on. There's more. Wait just a second. I got an F in everything else.
I'm actually expelled, so.
Yeah.
The 4th one is just like, I haven't been to school since 7th grade.
Yeah. I don't know what the Golgari equivalent of like the hands-off Montessori like gold star smiley face education is, but that's what Tak got. So report cards would probably not be the same experience for you.
Tak, instead of getting a report card in the mail, Tak got like a restraining order. Just like an EPO. Like,
yeah.
Do not come within 20 feet of the school. Okay, we had to move across town.
So, more. Please.
Yes. 1.5 more things, I would say. The first being, we have secured an instrument that I believe will be vital in helping us achieve our goals.
Mm-hmm.
And
We've secured an ornithopter.
explain to me why this is significant.
That would...
I could take over from here. Let me explain.
I'll pull out your PowerPoint.
Yeah, we shift our attention to Winnegar.
Your extending pointer.
Is there any way to make this thing full screen? Because I feel like we still see the borders on it, and then also the play stop button at the bottom. How do you get that part to disappear? I don't.
It worked at home. Hold on, I gotta go back a slide. This one's got video.
Yeah.
Does anybody have a DisplayPort cable? Yeah. Anybody?
He's got like he's got
no mini DisplayPort to be normal display. I think we need this is proprietary. I don't know.
This is it was this laptop's from 2012, so it uses Thunderbolt. So you're gonna actually need something a little bit different.
Actually, Thunderbolt would be very popular among the Is It League. It's Ral's proprietary plug format.
There's like an enormous like watermark across the back of the PowerPoint.
Yeah, all of the slides are like either clip art or stock photos that Winnegar didn't pay for.
My ornithopter just says Roll20 across the
Yeah, look, I was gonna buy it, but you just right click, you go save as, no one will notice.
Yeah, just like you can do it. Like if you're willing to put up in your game with it, then it's fine.
A little pop up to register the product comes up every 5 seconds.
You got to do the presentation in 5 minutes. So so Winnegar, you've just been given that most hallowed of opportunities. Someone who doesn't know a thing has just asked you to explain the thing to them.
So I break it down. I kind of break down this ornithopter isn't as like just a floating camera, that it's an actual like being that's connected to other beings, that's connected to one hub that's going in and out. And it's not technology that we have. It's something completely different, and it's being powered completely different. And the more we know, like if we could figure out how it works, we can see who's at behind the steering wheel of all these ornithopters.
Let's get a roll from you. Let's get a performance roll to see how succinctly Winnegar is able to get this across.
Cool.
Because there is a tendency to get lost in the minutia, or explain it in a way that, because she's got her shit together, she's smart, but she's a vampire banker, and you're a Vidalcan engineer, right? Together you fight crime.
I also get a D4 for performance or sleight of hand.
Nice.
Roll this and then see. Oh, but I rolled.
Roll that D4 anyway.
Yeah, let's do that. D4.
Don't do it.
Hot damn.
4.
All right.
Yeah.
23.
Everyone in the room has a deep understanding of these ornithopters that you did not before. Like maybe you thought you understood them, but now everybody is just like, oh, that's very succinct. Like that makes sense. And I think it's one of those things, Winnegar, too, where like you in the explaining, you yourself learn something. You're like, oh wait, like I'm putting pieces together that help me like figure out. So if you want, ask me something about the thopters, right? What's something that you want to know about them?
Oh man, what's something I want to know about the ornithopter? I want to know how to. Well, it's specific to the ornithopter.
Yeah, like the ornithopters, or like that their place in the scheme of things. You can ask me a question. I'll let you know if it makes sense.
Yeah, I want to know how to track it back. I want to know how to open. I want to basically use it. If it's a two-way mirror, I want to see the other side of it. Not that just they're spying on me. I want to spy on them.
Yeah. So to do that, you would need, and this is what makes them so effective. You would need the same technology from the same place that they came from. That these things, like, part of what makes them so effective is that they're really more an extension, and I guess this is the real like revelation, is that if they are, like you think, an extension of the will of their creator, Dovin Band, then that means that he is not from here. Like, that's the only way for it to make sense. Like, we already knew Dovin was a little weird, but everyone just assumes that he's like a Vidalcan. But he's not. He is from wherever they are from. And that, like, I think that's the revelation where you're like, wait a second, that's why they don't work with regular, like, equipment, is because they have a different metadimensional signature, which must mean... And so as you're finishing, like, you realize that.
He starts saying it while he's doing it. It's like, obviously we wouldn't be able to do it because the person who has this isn't from this plane. So yeah, Dovin Band isn't from here. And just freaks out as, like, he starts putting the logic together.
Yeah. So Torgor, because you're kind of tuned into the Rose's emotional spectrum. When Winnegar is saying that, she reacts, she buries her surprise very, very readily. But while everyone else might be like, oh no, Dovin Band, he's like scarier than we thought, the Rose is excited about that. She's like, she thinks she can use that somehow.
Ugh.
I pocket this information.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Just tuck it in there. Yeah.
Just like tuck it. It's a mental pocket.
Mental pocket.
Yeah. You just hand it to your monkey sidekick who puts it.
Oh, yeah, Mogus. Yeah. He's been here this entire time.
Your sea monkey.
Monkey. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't forget.
I forgot.
I mean, after reading the notes, I did not forget.
I have Mogus written on mine in a different color to remind me. Yeah. So she hears this explanation, and you come to that revelation, and she says, Dovin Band is incredibly dangerous. I need you to stay away from him, as far away as you can. If you have one of his ornithopters, find some Zonot to discard it into. Get rid of it, because he's going to track it down, and if he finds you, then he's going to find me, and I already have enough problems today. And she shoots an accusatory look at Rode, like it's your fault.
All right. Last thing. We need a lawyer.
Oh yeah. We need a lawyer. We need a lawyer. If you can just get one.
What?
We'll just take a couple sandwiches and head out.
A lawyer for what?
Well, Wenzel, he's currently being locked up, and we have this whole plan to get him out, involving some murder clowns and like this whole posse. And the thing is, though, in order to really succinct it, we need a lawyer to get us in to talk with him, so then we can whisk him away in the middle of the night.
We're doing like a whisk. Like it's a whole thing.
It's a whole, and you don't want to know about it. I mean, like you're clearly busy.
You're clearly busy with all these problems we've brought you. You're going to be so busy putting your life back together, you won't even notice us.
In our defense, not a single one of those is our fault.
That's true. Also,
Thank you.
Besides Road getting mind controlled, but I mean,
yes,
it could have happened to any of us, and honestly, probably better that it was the person with the strong mind.
Yeah.
Also,
where did we land on these sandwiches? I feel like we're all talking about them, but maybe not. I don't know if they're on their way, or do we put now?
So hungry now. Thanks a lot, Carlos.
So she says, well, I suppose that is one thing I can help you with. I have connections in my guild, which you are now aware of. Tell me again, you need a lawyer to argue for the release of this man, or?
I highly doubt that any lawyer you send to them will release him. But I'd like to go with this lawyer so we can get the location of where he's.
Yeah, some type of criminal lawyer. Maybe not like someone that you really like. would hate to lose. Maybe like
don't get a lawyer who cares about his job.
Someone who could be, and I pull off the Orzhov ring, who could maybe be bribed with this.
She's gonna try and she tries to take it from you. She's like, where did you get that? And tries to like grab it out of your hand.
Can I make it a pose athletics
yes,
check?
yeah. If you want to pull away, like, this is mine now.
This is mine.
Yeah, that's reasonable. You could do that. Okay. She's gonna make a sleight of hand, and you can maybe oppose with it's not athletics. I guess it'd be like a dexterity save, probably.
Okay. I would prefer if it's athletics.
Yeah, athletics is more like lifting and pushing and climbing and what have you.
Dexterity save.
Yeah, make a dexterity save. Oh boy.
66.
Right. Unless I really throw this. Let's see. It doesn't have sleight of hand train, so I just got a +4.
Beef it.
Oh, okay, she gets it, but only barely. So you got a 6, I got an 8. So she snatches it out of your hand, and she says,
"Oh no!"
She's holding it, and she says, "Where did you get this?"
Oh, it was a gift.
From who?
A friend.
Tack just like coughs super loudly, like.
Not Tack. Torgor definitely did not get it from Tack.
Make a deception check.
I would like to assist in that deception check.
If you're allowed, you're being distracting. All right, yeah, sure. You have advantage.
Oh, the 10.
It's a 10.
Okay.
10 is not great. Okay, let's take a look here and see what her wisdom is.
Thanks for ruining my life, Torgor, twice today.
I mean, you do what you can.
If the rose doesn't
she only got a 5, so that distraction helped. So
Tack has said nothing the whole time, so it's kind of like, oh, I forgot you were here.
Yeah, she looks at it and she looks at you, Torgor, and she just holds it out to give it back to you.
Well, we can't use this? I mean,
she says,
Torgor.
Be very careful who finds that in your possession. You shouldn't have it. But if someone gave it to you, and she shrugs and she's like, far be it from me to like, countermand another Orzhov if they gave you this gift. But she's just like, be careful.
What does it mean?
He says it just like that.
Cause I mean, like,
says, space, ... What does it mean?
What does it mean? Friend, I'll be honest. Torgor won it in a poker game and got really fast, and I mean, he tried to take it back after I won it, and I crushed the hand that was underneath it.
Torgor is clearly a comedy writer. He's just workshopping a character. Would it be better if? Okay, you know what? Forget that. Let's try another one. How about if I won it in a poker game? Is that a better story? Do you like that one instead?
I mean, I won it in a poker game.
Yeah,
I'll roll another deception on this.
She says those rings belong only to the Orzhov or to their servants. Having it means that you have ironically a benefactor in the syndicate, which I suppose by some stretch of logic you do, though I had hoped you wouldn't learn that. And certainly, and she looks down at the piece of paper on the floor, and like she's kind of embarrassed. Like she was proud of having this like shadowy wall between you and her, and now you like know where she lives, you know her real name, and she's just like, fuck, like I should not have gotten drunk and told you my phone number, and now you're texting me all the time. Right? Like I was trying to keep a little distance between us. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she just kind of like scowls, and she says, but we are where we are.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, we don't need rings. So
I mean, Torgor wouldn't be opposed if you want to give him a ring, and like really like now flirting with her, like at this point, because he's like emotionally in tune.
I'll tell you this: if you're tuned into her emotionally, she does not want to be flirted with right now.
Torgor. Here's the thing: Torgor doesn't get a lot of shots with vampires, and
yeah, Shoot your shot, man.
just gotta lay it out there. Like, this is the vibe. I mean, Torgor would love a ring from you.
Make a persuasion check, you big handsome minotaur.
Oh gosh. Nat 20.
Yes! Two of them, in fact.
2 20s?
I'm a fucking wizard.
It would be impossible for Torgor to have rolled any better than this. This is Torgor at 100%. Even with disadvantage, Torgor still nat 20s.
I am unstoppable.
It's Michael Jordan, fourth quarter, has the flu.
Yeah, right, 2 broken ankles. Like, still slam dunk from the 3-point line. Yeah. Torgor is on fire. So
Torgor like pulls his head down and like kind of flips his hair out of his face, and it's just like it's like kind of like the Michael Cera of like really like sincere and like like this is the first time Torgor has not been like aggressive. Yeah, I know, has not been like he knows what he looks like, but this time it's just like very like just direct, and I like to think that rings true with Russia.
So here's why it works, right? With Voshka, she is a probably several hundreds years old vampire at this point.
Torgor's into that.
So she's seen some shit, but she's been in the Orzhov Syndicate a long time. And if you are a member of the Orzhov, you don't tend to be exposed to people who are being earnest and open about their feelings. There's so much like shadowy, backstabbing Byzantine stuff going on that I feel like this reminds her of someone she used to know from before all of this pointy blood drinking darkness. And we see her, all you get out of her is a smile, but it's not the smile of a cobra ready to strike. It's not that predatory smile. It's a like human feelings smile where she's just like you said something that made her feel nice. Mm-hmm. And she turns away from you to Winnegar, and she says, well, I'm done trying to intimidate the lot of you. We have to deal with this, and you're in my home. Why don't we go and make use of that kitchen that I never do anything with?
Oh, they never use the kitchen either, guys.
That's really nice.
She sighs and she says, I can have my servants make you sandwiches if you like.
Nice.
Come on. And she turns and she walks away the way that you came, and you can hear the clicking of her heeled boots on the stone as she walks away to go upstairs. And I think that we crossfade too, unless you want a second alone after she leaves. If you want a second alone without her to talk about this, you can. But basically she'll go and she'll get her servants to like make you some food, and we'll relocate this whole clandestine meeting to her enormous like kitchen that is very much unused because she's a vampire.
We all saw this slam dunk, right?
Yes, and that was the thing I wanted to give you a moment to sit in.
Rhoda is openly glaring.
Zach is like, up fucking top.
Torgor like high fives is like smooth. Torgor's never been, and then like in the middle of it like slips and like falls.
Chariots of Fire is playing. Pew, pew,
Yeah.
pew.
Everybody's getting finger guns and high fives. Yeah. Yeah.
It's all slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, you seem to have at least diffused her. She's more like worried about her own shit, and you have managed by way of Torgor's excellent role to make her feel like you are a support network in that regard, right? Where she's just like, okay, well, we're all in this together. Things are still like I have to deal with this stuff, but maybe I don't have to be like high boss overlord of these nerds. Like maybe I can get them to help me with this problem, and it's also their problem too. So she's kind of turned around on that. So yeah, I don't know. You all give Torgor his celebratory like high fives, except for Road.
Yeah.
It's too slow. But yeah, she leaves and expects for you to follow.
Nerds. Yeah.
She definitely does. Yeah.
Way better
How
than
did that-
worthless worms and failures.
I mean, you're still those things, but
Oh, fuck yeah.
When we leave, do we have an idea of like where new drop sites will be, or how to meet this lawyer person?
yeah. So
or
you haven't necessarily left yet, but I don't know that we need to. I don't know that we need like more scenes. Basically, like she is willing to she's willing to help and to rebuild the network. Obviously, this conspiracy involves more than just you and her, right? There are other cells, other people. So she's just got to reconnect with whoever is above her in the secret chain of secrets.
Yeah, let's end on a high note.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's not give you another example of opportunity to screw this up.
Rose definitely tries to get like another name of like a different person besides Rose that's involved. So she's trying to get some glimpse of the bigger circle, because I think nothing like frustrates Rose more than like being like, this is where it ends. I can't see beyond.
So maybe you're asking her about this as everyone's getting ready to leave. Winnegar, you've got some like sandwiches in little wax paper to go. You get to take some with you. And Rode, you've like taken her aside, and she says, obviously like distracted, right? Her mind's running on this other stuff, and she says, the way this has worked for you is the same as it works for me. You weren't supposed to know who I am, and I don't know who my superiors are.
So you do have a boss.
She nods and she says, no matter how important you are, someone is going to be more important than you. This is just how it goes.
Or thinks in his head, you could be the most important person. No,
well, I mean, if you,
like
the thing is, if
soon.
you, there are higher. The thing is, even with Rakdos, like Rakdos, you're a bunch of like chaotic maniacs, but there's still a hierarchy, right? Rakdos is at the top, and everybody's below him.
Your brood witches, and then like everyone else.
Yeah. So she says, I'm going to file a report. The structures that I use to communicate with my superiors are different than the way that I communicated with you for just this sort of thing. I have to hope now that they don't just cut us loose. The network is meant to be disposable. I'll make a case for us. Try to rebuild. And I'll send someone once I've done what I can. You're still living on top of that atrocious turtle, right?
Yeah.
She nods. Good. I'll have someone visit with some information when I have it. Here. And she has I think she produces like a business card basically that was brought to her from one of her servants, and it has the syndicate mark embossed on it, and on the other side it has an address, and she says, this is an advocate in the syndicate. He owes me some favors. He should be able to help you.
Thank you. All right. When we get Wenzel, I mean, you can use that as leverage if you want to get us back in, but where do you want him?
I don't know. Find somewhere safe to hide him. Get him out of prison. Get him out of the hands of the Azorius. And we'll go from there. I don't want Wenzel for his own sake. I want him because he knows things about his brother. So feel free to interrogate him if you think you can be persuasive.
Oh, I can be persuasive. No, that's
okay.
dumb. That's so dumb.
I will throw you out. Or sort of like nods and like pockets the business card and says, I know that we're now mansion living Orzhov terrifying vampires, but if there's anything that we can do to help, we did come here tonight because you were in danger. So
she goes cold. You see the shield reemerge, and she says, "Don't misunderstand this. Our relationship hasn't changed. We serve the same goals, and you obey me. I don't need your help. I've been caught off guard. I would have learned about this eventually. I appreciate the heads up, but I don't need you out there worrying about me. Your pity is less than useless. Think about yourselves. Don't get caught again. Get out of here."
Yes, mistress.
That was the correct answer. Yes. Good.
How does she how emotionally charged is the air when he says yes, mistress, and she obviously approves though?
Yeah, I mean, I think make an insight check there. Make an insight there, Tack, and we'll see.
Yeah, Tora doesn't even
Cool.
know.
I think she's super into him. It's a 5.
I mean, the thing is with a 5, like you can misinterpret it however you want.
I plan to.
But Tack like deeply misinterprets the situation.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I guess why don't you tell me, instead of me telling you what you learned, what does Tack think is going on here?
Tack is like, whoa, that 100% she is down. We have to get out of here. Or you can stay a little bit behind.
No, Tora, where's the Tora show? Now it's time to leave.
Like Tack is seeing all of this through like teenage boy American Pie vision, where she's like there are sandwiches on the table and she's like slapping like bologna in her face. She's like taking a spoon of mayo and just like smearing it on her, and Tack's like, whoa.
It's good. It's good stuff.
Road is in hell. This is
Vinegar doesn't know what's going on. He's like eating his sandwich, like looking around, like what's going on. Like, Tack, what are you doing with that spoon? Don't put it back in the jar. Don't put it back in the. Oh, you put it back in the jar.
Super did. Tack hates mayo. Tack's like, it's ruined now. It's got like mustard all over it, and Tack just like makes eye contact with Vinegar and stirs it into the mayo jar.
Oh, that's nasty. Oh,
We're just gonna take a couple of these to go, and we'll be out of your hair in a second.
Yeah, so you've been dismissed, so you can leave. Yeah, so where do you go? What is the plan here? It's like nighttime, so probably this advocate's office isn't going to be open.
Vinegar has he's dealing with the fact that like one of his, if maybe his only like scientific discovery, he has to get rid of. So
yeah.
At odds with himself, he's just like, this would be really good for everyone if I got rid of it, but it would also just be cool for me if I kept it. So he's just like walking back, thinking about how he has to get rid of the ornithopter, and if there's anything that he can salvage or maybe even sneak off.
Road like leans into Vinegar while he's walking, and she just says, "I think you should keep it."
You think I should keep it, really? Because I think I should keep it.
Yeah,
But
let's
it's
keep
like-
it.
Torgar agrees. We should keep it.
Okay. I don't know if this is a good idea or a bad idea at all now. I'm being like, oh, okay. I'm keeping it.
Yeah,
No,
let's
I'm not
keep it. Yeah, no, let's keep it.
We're gonna
Come on.
die.
You stole it. It's yours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know when you
Mhm.
read in the books where there's like, a guy in red right here and then a guy in white on this other shoulder. I just have 3 guys in red on one shoulder, and then there's me on the other one who
Excuse
find a
me.
way to
Have
get
you
to the
ever heard of a little thing called democracy?
Mm-hmm.
True.
yeah, I mean, I guess I have. Yeah, a little thing called democracy.
If
Also,
it's democracy, it can't be wrong.
mm-hmm.
It's true.
Torgar also thinks it may be your thopter, but you didn't catch it alone.
That's true too.
Mhm.
Here's the thing. I think you should keep it, but you should keep it nowhere near where you live, where you work, or where you breathe. So you have to find a safe place to keep it.
Hey, what happened to didn't you have a friend, like an engineering buddy?
Wow.
Didn't you have a friend once?
Didn't you have a friend? Yikes. Big yikes.
Yeah, I had a friend. I don't think he's gonna be coming around much.
No. I'm saying you go to him. Like he doesn't need to come to you. Like,
Yeah.
was Torgor not clear? Sorry, sometimes my
Are we
verbs are
talking
wrong.
about the one that you bullied?
I mean,
First of all, he's a grown ass man.
he's a grown man. Also,
No, you-
I didn't say anything. I just stood there, and if he was bullied by my presence, well, frankly, might be specious. I don't know.
Torgor's got an energy, you know? Some people can't handle that. They can't handle the Torgor energy.
Okay. Let me think about it, guys. I don't know what we're gonna do with this. It's big, right? It's like
Yeah, you need
bigger
to,
than a basketball.
Yeah, I
right?
think we had described as being basketball sized at its core with the kind of like metal like fins coming off it. It's bigger when the wings are outstretched, but it has to be active for it to be able to fly around. So yeah, it's way lighter. It's way lighter than it should be. So there's that at least.
Okay, wherever we keep this thing, we shouldn't be able to keep it. We shouldn't keep it in a place that could come back to us. If anything, we should keep it in a place that like sets up someone else. I feel like we're good at that.
I feel like you are too.
Need a fall person.
Yeah. We can think about it on the way back.
Yeah.
We should
we
find
have
someone
to-
we don't like.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend my remaining key points to do Pass Without a Trace to get us back undetected, hopefully.
Okay. All right. So yeah, where is the disabled ornithopter right now?
On our
Isn't it-
person.
Is it
brought
Professor? Or we
I think
brought
you
him?
left it at the.
It's
in
at the
the
host.
It's in the
Yeah,
pile
we
of
did.
the pile of
Yeah.
other stuff. The big pile of Is It stuff back at the
Yeah.
host. Yeah. Okay. I just
The
wanted to
host.
make sure.
Yeah.
Along with Mogus, who's keeping guard, I think.
Yeah. You left it there. Okay. Sure. Okay. All right.
Oh,
so
yeah, sure.
so Rode, you
Sure, he's doing that.
that makes sense. That's fine. You can make up a sidekick and have him in the game if you want. I don't care.
I mean,
I'll never mention him, but you're welcome to whenever you want.
I'll make up stats for him for combat It'll be
Until
fine.
you get hit by a fireball and he dies, and it's a whole
Yeah.
tragic
One
thing.
fireball.
I
Mogus
just tried to
AC
find a
25.
fish.
This was your pet. Yeah, it was your pet that you don't care
We
about.
just tried to find a fish, and then we were like, monkey?
Monkey?
You said sea monkey.
I'm not taking the fall for this.
You said sea monkey. It is a sea monkey.
It is. It's a simic monkey creature, which is fine. Okay. All right. So you're gonna head back to the host and chill out there and and then figure out what to do with the ornithopter. And then tomorrow you can go to this advocat's office and
Oh yeah, I
and
told
meet
them
with
about that on the way. I was like, about the Wade business card.
Oh, this is a nice business. It's black on black and it's embossed so you can actually read it. Classy.
Picks it up. Look
there
at the
metal in
weight
it?
on this card stock. Oh my god.
Metal.
good.
It feels metal.
It feels. I like Torgor tries to buy it. It is metal. It is metal.
God.
This guy's gonna be classy.
I was gonna say I was trying to figure out like an actor to play this lawyer Milos.
Christian
and
Bale now.
He's Christian Bale now. Yep.
Yeah, American Psycho Christian Bale.
Oh, that's totally an Orzhov. Like
Oh, yeah.
you know he's Orzhov.
100%. Like they're pulling. There's like he's got the eggshell.
Cool. So you can go and meet with Milos the Advocist tomorrow.
Peeling his face off, and I'm like, ooh,
Yep.
I love that movie.
Cool. So I think we see that the group of you head off into the rain, heading home for the host, and we'll fade out to our break there, and we'll pick up when we get back and see if we can't finally, legitimately or otherwise, get Wenzel out of jail, or I guess go and repair Winnegar's friendship. One
I
or
think
the
we
other.
all know, or otherwise.
Yeah, or otherwise. We'll see. Stick around. We'll be right back with more Jace Beleren Must Die.